Is it discuss about various aspects of education, teaching, learning, evaluations, and results. Through this initiative, Kannur Salafi B.Ed College is proud to facilitate interactive sessions to the participants across the globe for discussing on hot topics with the leading resource persons from the topmost institutions in India and abroad. So today, on the third edition of the EduSphere, we have Dr.Prithi Venkatesh Nair, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Special Education, All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, Mysuru. With over 2 decades of experiences, Dr. Prithi specializes in training teachers, working with children with special needs, and conducting research in the field. Her PhD focused on remedial instructions for children with hearing impairment. Dr. Preeti has received multiple awards for her research contributions, highlighting her significant impact in the field. So, with this short note, I would like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Preeti Venkatesh, and all our participants into this edition of EduSphere. Uh,
Ma'am, you can start.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And initially, am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. And before starting, I would like to thank Sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Sir. It has been a long time. I have been following up with Nasser Ali Sir to give me this opportunity. And it was indeed a pleasure. He accepted my request. And thank you, Sir, from Department of Special Education and myself for accommodating my request. It is just a humble effort to create awareness about children with special needs among this young generation of teachers who will be going to teach in some time. So with this, I would like to start with my presentation. Give me a minute, sir. I'll just share my.
Sure, ma'am. You can. Class बोलिए. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sir, sir, as my PPT is visible.
Noted, ma'am.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Now it's started.
It's visible, no?
Yes.
Okay, so as one of the student introduced, I am from All India Institute of Speech and Hearing from Department of Special Education. So not taking much time, I'll go into the actual topic, that is children with special needs. So you all might be thinking why this topic is so important, why this topic has been included as in EduSphere. See, students and young teachers, see, you all will be with this National Education Policy 2020 and inclusive education. We should be aware about the coexistence of other children also, isn't it? Like, for example, see, we always in the classroom, it is a heterogeneous group. All children are not same. Same way, you also should be aware that some children require their special attention, special needs because of their unique abilities or because of some of the disability, because they're differently abled. So, can any one or two participants tell? Have you come across such type of children in your neighborhood or in your family, or maybe in your practice teaching sessions? Can one of you tell? Have you come across some children? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible. You can continue.
Okay. So maybe over a period of time, I think the participants will answer. So with this background, let us first see who are children with special needs. So again, I am telling this is just an awareness creation among all the participants about children with special needs, so that they become aware of of these children in their classrooms and they know how to teach them, because you cannot just segregate them, you have to integrate them and they have to be a part of the normal society. Okay, so let us see who are children with special needs. They are individuals who require additional support and accommodations due to their physical, cognitive, emotional, or developmental challenges, because they might have problem with their mobility, or they might have difficulty in thinking, they might be intellectual disabled, or they might have some emotional problem, they might be a slow learner, or overall they might have some problem like children with cerebral palsy, or children who have difficulty to listen, and they have hearing impairment. So they are also known as children with disabilities or exceptional children. Why exceptional children? Because they are not different like any other child, but their requirement is different and they might have some special ability. So special children are called special to emphasize the unique qualities, needs, and the importance of recognizing and supporting their individuality. As I told, they have unique qualities, needs, and the importance that we have to recognize, that we have to support their individuality. Going on to this, let us first start with children with hearing impairment. Now, children with hearing impairment, you might have come across people who are wearing a hearing aid, or a children who is having a machine fixed to their skull. Now, who are they? They are children with hearing impairment. You might have come across a group of children doing sign language, isn't it? So they are hearing impaired. Hearing impaired means they have problem in listening and hearing. Okay, so they are partial or complete loss of hearing, including conditions like deafness or hearing loss. So when these children are there, they have problem in listening and speaking. Now, who are intellectual disability? Intellectual disability or mental retardation. Again, I'm telling you might have seen children with the Down syndrome. A significant. See here, I have put the picture here. No, a child. She is a child with Down syndrome. Okay, so significant limitation in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior, leading to difficulties in learning and everyday activities. These children are slow in learning because they have below average intelligence or borderline functioning intelligence. They cannot understand what is happening in their surrounding. This leads to difficulties in learning and everyday activities. Okay, so these children are slow in learning, they have their own pace of learning. Okay, next is difficult. What are the difficulties? They cannot communicate, means they cannot talk or they cannot express themselves. They cannot do things which we do easily, like they cannot wear a dress, or they cannot take a spoon and eat, or they cannot hold a glass and drink, and they cannot go to the washroom, they cannot take bath on their own. So they have difficulty in doing all these things. Just imagine a 10 or 12 years old child doing a potty in his diaper or in his panty. It is so difficult for the parent, no? So this is the problem with intellectual disability, because they cannot communicate their need. Next, social skills. They don't know how to behave in a society. Next, basic academic skills. They find it very difficult to read, to write, to be in a classroom setup. They don't know, they cannot self regulate, means if they have some stress, they don't know how to behave in a situation, or when they go out, they don't know the direction. They cannot self manage themselves. That becomes very difficult. And independent functioning in the community, like for example, they cannot go alone somewhere, they cannot get into a bus. These are all problems, and moreover, because of all these things, their employability becomes very difficult. No one wants to hire them because of the above problem. So these are children or individuals with intellectual disability. Few of you might have come across in your family or in your neighborhood. So don't label them. Like, see, I don't know, many of you might be Malayalis, we call them as pottan pottan. No, they are not, but they might have difficulty in understanding. Okay. Next is specific difficulties. Now, what are this? Attention, memory, generalization. See, like for example, for these children with ID, they cannot retain information. If you tell something now they will forget it. And for attention, no, they go like for example, when we teach something, no, and the teacher is wearing a beautiful earring, their attention will not go into the teaching learning strategies. Their attention will go into the hearing, or if the teacher is wearing a bindi or this sticker on forehead, their attention will go. Generalization means, I hope all of you know that as a teacher, when do we say that a child has learned something is like when they go to a normal society outside and they apply. But these children cannot do that. Like for example, teach the concept of addition in the class, and then when the mother sends them to the shop with amount and the shopkeeper asks them to add the total amount, they will not be able to do that. Okay, so these are the specific difficulties of these children. Next is cerebral palsy. This is also very sad situation because these children have normal intelligence, like John Hopkins, no, he was very brilliant, but they have problem with their muscle coordination. That has an impact on their overall learning. See, just imagine when we are sitting on a chair and you are not able to sit properly, you will keep on falling, or your muscles are paining. So just with that, that will create distraction. So just think of these children, how difficult it is for them to learn. So it is a neurological disorder that affects movement, muscle coordination, and posture. It is typically caused by damage to the developing brain before or during birth. So during birth or before birth, if something happens to the brain, they have a problem, but it affects their overall muscle coordination. Okay. Next is, what are the instructional needs of cerebral palsy? Like they have difficulty in holding a pencil, and they have difficulty in coordinating the handwriting. Adapted devices such as pencil grips and page turners may be required. Papers may need to be tapped to the desktop because, as I told you, they have posture problem. They cannot hold the paper on one side and they can write. Okay. Are you all with me, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Are you all able to understand? Please stop me if you have some query. Please don't go forward with a doubt. Okay, I will try as far as possible to solve your queries. Okay. Now these are all adapted devices. See, for example, this pencil. See, students, why am I telling is like, see, we all take our life for granted, no? Like we have our hands intact, our eyes intact, ears intact. So we don't know the value of it until it goes. So now just imagine a holding of pencil. Have you ever thought that it also might be a problem for these children? But yes, look at this picture. The child is holding a pencil but with a gripper. It is so difficult, no? And we turn with our pages so quickly. They are turning with a page turner. And see here, they are holding it with some assistive device. These are called as assistive devices. So now you see computers with adaptations such as touch panels, rather than a keyboard or a mouse, are useful both for presenting academic work and as a medium for communication with others. So this is a communication board. So sometimes since they cannot speak, they will touch and show what they have to do. And we have to tell, oh, you want water, oh, you want to paint, oh, you want to go to that direction, oh, you want to go home, like that. Okay, so this is called as communication board. Then autism spectrum disorder, a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects social interaction, communication, and behavior. See, this is a problem where the child might seem normal, cute, but you might see that the child is not mingling with children of his age group. And another thing you might be see is that he is having some repetitive behavior. Repetitive behavior means he will be having his head rocking, or he will be keep on pulling his hair, or some children you might see they will just keep on seeing the fan or something which is movement. So that is one of the symptoms of autism, and they cannot communicate. They'll be very aloof, and they, because of all this they have behavior issues. Now, what are the 10 symptoms of autism? They have developmental learning delays. Means all, learning delays means all things what we do from time to time, they have a delay. They will not give eye contact, and they will have that difficulty. Next is difficulty in communicating. See, difficulty in communicating means they cannot talk. They find it very difficult to express. Difficulty in social situations. See, social situations means, see, when we meet someone, we greet them, we look at them, we give a social smile. These children will not do anything. They will be in their own world. They will sometimes even not know who is their mother or who is their father. They will not be having that emotional attachment with anyone. Attachment to unusual interest. As I told you, they will be interested in one particular toy, or they will be interested in the circular motion of a fan, or circular motion of a wheel. And difficulty understanding emotions. They might not know why their mother is crying, or why. So this is a very difficult situation. And over or under sensitivity to light, sound, touch, or taste means if someone is making noise, they cannot bear it. They cannot have different types of food. Very very difficult situation for children with autism. Repetitive movements and behaviors, trouble with transitions, recurring sleep problems, and insufficient impulse control. Like they want things in a very particular manner. That is that. Okay. So now false red flags for autism in children. Like for example, sometimes like they doesn't respond to your call. Call means not the phone call. Huh? When you call, okay, Preeti, look here. The child will not look at you because he will be in his own world. He will not know that this is my name. Healthy development with speech delays and development of symptoms after early childhood. Like few example, birth they might be normal, but sometimes when they progress, they might have some of these features. See, they might be alone. They will not want children. They want to be alone. They have preference for a particular toy, and they have difficulty in academics. Or see, this is also particular. If you see some children lining up things, lining up things means frequently. Yeah, lining up things means they will keep things in an order line. That means there might be symptoms. Students, one more thing. It is not necessary that those children who put toys in one line will have autism. Don't label, please. Young teachers, again I'm telling, don't label. If a child is not progressing in your classroom, when you become teachers, don't label, oh, he's a mad child or he's a hearing impaired child. You first get the evaluation, then only come to a conclusion. Okay. Now, what are characteristics of autism? Major impairment of social interaction, lack of normal emotional relationship with others, impairment of reduced ability to learn, particularly through observation and imitation, the presence of stereotyped behavior, as I told you, rocking, hand flapping, and spinning, obsessive interest, ritualized activities, and desire to perceive sameness in surroundings. If we change some of their things, they feel little irritated. Lack of imaginative and creative play. Imaginative and creative play means they cannot imagine them to be something. They will be very upset. Okay. So now, what is diagnosis of autism? Marked impairment of non-verbal behaviors used in social interaction. Example: eye contact, facial expression, posture, use of gestures. Failure to develop peer relationships. Uh, Failure to develop peer relationships, no desire to return social or emotional contacts, delay, total lack of communication skills. Okay, so these are the things. No desire to return. They will even if you give a smile, they will not smile. Even if you give an eye contact, they will not do eye contact. So it will be very difficult for the teachers or parents to teach them. Okay. Now comes learning disability. Very, I think this is a very sensitive topic. Means a child who doesn't do persistently well in classroom is labeled as learning disability. No, no, it is not like that. Okay, so first we will see what is learning disability. Difficulties in acquiring and using skills in listening, speaking, reading, writing, reasoning, or mathematical. They will have difficulty in processing the information in their brain. If you ask them a question, they find it very difficult. If you give them to read something, they will not be able to perceive it. They will not be able to perceive the letters. So writing becomes difficult, reasoning or mathematical abilities, and like that. Okay, so you can see the difference here. The child has read, and becomes problem. So types of learning disability: dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. Like dysgraphia is always with the writing, dyscalculia is with numbers, and dyslexia is with reading. Okay. Now characteristics of LD: delay in speech development, visual perception problems resulting in frequent. You might see if you are really observing a child in your classroom and you are if you are correcting their notebook, you will see some children will write all the letters ulta, reverse. P will look like 9, M will look like W, S will be a mirror image. So they will have this persistently, they will find it very difficult. Okay. And like blurring auditory perception problems. Auditory perception means auditory is always listening. Okay. Auditory is your ear. Perception problems, difficulty in recalling names, quickly naming familiar objects, and minor neurological dysfunction, poor motor coordination. So overall, they will be behind everything because of all these things. Because one has an impact on other. It's not that just reading and writing, but these are the problems. Okay. Next is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, a condition characterized by difficulty focusing, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. So, some children you might have observed, they can't sit at one place. They can't, if you give a pencil, they will keep on falling it. They will keep on moving from, they will keep on disturbing their classmates. They will keep on pinching the child, other classmates. So, what is happening? They are not able to sit at one place. Okay, a condition characterized by difficulty focusing, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. Impulsivity means they cannot sustain a particular activity for a longer time and they lose attention. Okay, so these are some of the symptoms. They are very careless, they are forgetful, they cannot sit they'll keep on dreaming, they will talk excessively, they are very disorganized, they will fight with their fellow mates, and they have a risky behavior, means they will play with sharp objects, with fire. So these are few of the things, and a very disturbing environment in the classroom because they will keep on disturbing the teacher. mm, uh, they will keep on disturbing the teachers because the teacher will keep on looking at the child. He like, why are you disturbing the class? Why are you disturbing the class? Okay. Next is emotional behavioral disorders. Emotional behavioral disorders, conditions that involve persistent emotional or behavioral difficulties such as anxiety disorders, depression, or conduct disorders. You might see these children in the school. Like they might have difficulty in going to school, they will be having difficulty to learn, inappropriate behavior or feelings, unhappiness or depression, inability to maintain relationships. Okay. So these are problems in academic, they have problems in academic learning, their communication is affected, they have difficulty self-help, they cannot take bath, they cannot brush. These are all the problems with emotional and behavioral problems. Motor activities, they cannot kick a ball or they cannot eat properly. Means they will be messy eaters, dirty eaters, and they cannot color it appropriately. And they will be very stubborn, or they will be cranky, or they will be fighting, or they will be pinching. Then will have problem with socialization. So these are the problems. These are children with special needs. Is it very clear to all of you? All of you understood now the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
clear.
Okay. Students, one request. I will take that
Yes,
request.
ma'am.
If you have any question answers or difficulties or question answer sessions, we will take address all your queries towards the end. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Surely I will try to close all your issues. Okay. So now we see, now you might be having an understanding. Oh, if a child is not sitting properly or students, one more thing, please, 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 as a request, don't immediately label the child. If he's not performing well in one or two classes, that doesn't mean that he is LD, or that doesn't mean that he is ADHD or he is hearing impaired. No, continuously under different situation he should be performing that. Is it very clear? Like for example, a child with ADHD, okay, in the classroom also is very disturbing, at home also, in any situation, if you see, this child will be continuously doing that particular thing. So that is the problem with. So again, I'm telling, as teachers, you all have a big responsibility on your shoulder. If you see such type of children in your classroom, don't label, don't immediately tell he's LD or he's HI. No, you should get them diagnosed or tested from a certified professional only. After that diagnosis only, we will go to the next step of intervention. Okay. Now I will give you some general instruction as to how we can teach them generally, but for most of them, you will require a specialized or an individualized training. Okay. So, what are the general strategies for the teacher? See, here I have put two pictures: equality and equity. See, equality means equal. You can see the stand, all are standing equally. But for these children, we don't want equality. We want equity. Means whatever the child requires, we have to give that. So that is called as equity. Now you have to provide auditory resources. Auditory resources means the audio books or whatever you're talking, you talk clearly. Give them a multisensory teaching approach. Then promote hands-on activities. Hands-on activities means, see students, when you are teaching in the classroom as practice teaching also, you might not just use the blackboard. You might give them some experiment, you might give them some project, that is called as hands-on. So same thing applies for children with special needs. Wherever they are engaged physically, they are engaged with their hands, so that becomes a learning experience for them. They are a part of it. They can, the problem with these children is they find it very difficult to concretize means whatever we think abstractly, they cannot think it concretized. So when they are a part of it, they can think of it. Make greater use of visual methods and multimodal techniques. Okay, make greater use of visual methods and multimodal. You have to use lots of teaching aids and multimodal. Like for example, you can use the multisensory teaching approach and clear and simple language. Don't make life complicated for them. Give simple instruction, and whatever you are saying, give them, write it on the board. Let them get that visual thing. And they should know, like, this is important. And repeat instructions, provide options for individualization, equality and equity, curriculum adaptation, and collaborative teaching. Collaborative teaching means, see, now with this national education policy and this Samagra Shiksha, no, many special educators are getting recruited into regular schools, normal schools. Okay. Now, if you get appointed as a teacher in a regular school and you see that some children require some special educational intervention, don't just leave the child. If there is a special educator facility, you work together with the teacher. Like for example, this child requires this problem. So both of you, if you work hand in hand, I'm very sure the child will do very well. See, ultimately, it's just because of the special educator facility that the child is able to do well. If there is no special educator facility, the child will not do well. So ultimately, so that he can see the teacher and the teaching aids properly, and teaching aids properly, and whatever teacher writes on the board, he can copy it. Second, so this is called a physical environment for mainstream classrooms. Mainstream means the regular schools or students, if you are not aware with that term. Academic needs, verbal information or auditory information will be difficult for children with communication disorder. Visual information is necessary for them for better understanding. Okay, so what are these? You have to give them information verbally or auditorily, will be difficult. So you have to give them in writing also. Now selection of classroom, noise free and helps better hearing. So if you have a classroom, oh, I'm really sorry. If you have a classroom which is next to a canteen or a playground, it will be very difficult. They cannot hear. With hearing aid, they have to be away from the source of sound. Selection of seats, close and makes visible. Like, please allow him to sit in the first or the second bench. And appropriate teaching learning material, it should be audible, visible, and operable and manipulative. Okay. See, visual information is necessary for them to understand. better understanding. Whatever you tell, if you have this visual input, they will understand it better. They will able to visualize it. Now, acoustic environment. Students, what do you mean by acoustic? Acoustic means the the environmental noise, okay, or environmental sound. So, for example, now currently I'm sitting in my chamber, but acoustically it is very disturbing. I will tell you why. You might get this spillover sound also. Outside my department, there is some construction work going on, drilling work going on. That is very irritating for me. I am getting disturbed. Outside my room, I have one co-curricular session going on for special children. Now there is a noise coming from outside. There's so much of noise input in there, disturbance. Okay, so in that case, you have to ensure that when you have a child with special needs, all these things should be avoided. Okay, you can, but how can you avoid? Make the child sit, or close the window, or put a curtain if you have that, and and see if the child's hearing aid is working. Okay, sources of noise from outside school. Yeah, these are all the sources of noise which I am also experiencing it now. So sources of noise from outside school. Okay. So if you can have little trees around the wall, it will be better. Preventing noise from outside classroom. See, you can see the classroom should have thick concrete walls. Avoid long, narrow, and straight corridors. See, curtain. And one more thing, what no? You can have soft boards. I don't know how many of you have soft boards in the classroom. Keep soft boards. That also have the power of absorbing noise. See, this is the thing. Okay. Measures to reduce noise inside the classroom. How can, if suppose there's continuous noise outside, how will you reduce it? Cover of desks with resilient material. Use blackboard that are rigidly attached to the wall. Okay, you can have blackboards. You can have rubber bushes. Make sure that the fan and any other equipment in the classroom serviced does not produce noise. Train the child to avoid the unwanted noise and avoid reverberation reflection of sound. Use blackboard that are rigidly attached to the wall. See, like this, you cannot, and these are called as rubber bushes, so that when you're dragging them, it doesn't make any noise. Train the child to avoid the unwanted noise, means by wearing a hearing aid and just avoiding it. See, avoid reverberation of sound. Reverberation means some classrooms will have that echo. Whatever the teacher tell, it will hit the wall and come back. It should not happen like that. So enable visual information like speech reading and visual aids. I'll explain speech reading. What is speech reading? See students, I don't know how many of you have come with a person with hearing impairment, those who use sign language or those who are wearing a hearing aid. If you have come across them, just observe their eyes. See, their eyes will do two work of the ears and the eyes. So if when you're talking, no, they will concentrately look at your face. That is called as speech reading. Means they're trying to get all the information from your gestures, from your thing. So this is especially for children with hearing impairment. What can you do? Good lighting, and there should be good lighting. Means the child should be able to see what is written on the board. There shouldn't be glare and there shouldn't be any shadow. See, like this. Okay. See, without glare. See, this is a glared one. And this is also with shadow. The child finds it very difficult to understand. Moreover, if you have a good, well-lit classroom, the child will be under. So why am I telling is like, being teachers, let us have little empathy towards children. See, children come from different backgrounds, isn't it? Some might come from a rich family, but a disturbed family. But some might come from a poor family. He might not have had his breakfast, so you might be hungry in the classroom. So don't be strict. Oh, you're always crying, you're irritated. No, just show little empathy to the child, because you're all teachers, no? They should have that affection towards you also, no? So seating arrangements for children with hearing impairment. See students, look at the pointer. See, these are children with hearing impairment. If you see, they are wearing a hearing aid. Okay, where are they sitting? They are sitting on the first bench. Why? To observe well. Teacher should face the children 45% horizontal angle and 30 degree of vertical angle. See here like this. So that when the teacher is explaining, no, her lip movement and her voice is easily audible and visible to the child. Now, strategies in adapting curriculum for children with hearing impairment. This is just an idea what I will express. And why adaptation? Okay. See, for example, considerations. Okay. Considerations, learning content, special needs of what you have to consider when you're adapting. See, learning content. See, students, what happens is like the textbook what we use for normal children. Okay, the situation is same everywhere in Kerala or in Karnataka or in North. We don't have a separate textbook for these children. So, can anyone tell what problems did you people face when you were using the textbook as a student? Can one of you tell, one of the audience or one of the students? Did you all understand my question? Sorry?
Ma'am, please repeat the question, ma'am.
Okay, the question is when you people were students in the school, okay, what difficulty did you people face while using the school textbook? Oh, it was not printed in color. Okay, that is also a very good point. It is not attractive. Any other answer?
The letters also were very small. Font size will be very small before when I was doing schooling. And now the letters have been and the font sizes have been increased in many textbooks in all the subject books.
Very good. That is also a good observation. The font size is very small. Anything else? Anyone else? That means you all did not read your textbook in school or what? Students?
At times, the information which was being provided in the books was not very much relevant and sufficient as the students required, and that is why they question their teachers to just to provide elaborate answers to the situations.
Very good. And moreover, I don't know how many of you have observed the language of the textbook. See, students, what language we speak in day to day life and the textbook language, is it same or different?
The language is very difficult to understand and it is not in a
Excellent.
capsule form.
Very good. That is the answer I wanted. The language, but what others told is also very true. You did not have colorful fonts or the size was small, but the language, it is so difficult. If we do not have good comprehension, we tend to not understand what is there in the textbook. So over a period of time, children will lose their interest in reading the textbook. And as one of the students told, he like the content was not sufficient to meet their requirement or the questions what was posed in the examination. Excellent answer, students. And a very, I should hear you. I should tell you are a very attentive group. I got very good answers. Thank you so much for listening to me. Okay, so
Thank you, ma'am.
yes. Okay.
There was no thought-provoking questions or special informations inside the boxes.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that is also a thing. You should your reading should read to reflecting of text, be it a critical thinking and all these things. So considerations means learning content, special needs of the child, and facilities and opportunities available. So these are few of the problems. We'll get into the other things in detail. Now, adapt content. See, what do you mean by adaptation? See, students, I'll give adaptation is like we are molding ourselves to the current situation. Now, isn't it? See, for example, when Corona came, I hope all of you were students during Corona. No, all of you were students only. No, during Corona, you are all studying. No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how
Yes,
did
ma'am.
how did you people adapt to the corona or the COVID-19 situation? How did you people adapt yourself?
We had online classes,
Uh,
so we learned through the online classes
yeah,
in
very
those
good.
periods.
Yes, that is called as adaptation. Means from offline or face-to-face mode, you all went to online. Same way, what is there in the present situation? We are just making minute changes for the children to understand. So adapt content to the needs and ability of the learner. Okay. Illustrations. What do you mean by illustrations? Give pictures. See, one of you pointed out very clearly the font size was very small, or you didn't have sufficient pictures to understand. See, when I was a student, in school, I still remember geography was so boring, or it was not. We did not grab my attention because information used to be very nice, but the pictures used to be only one map to explain the entire thing, or it used to be black and white. So we never had that interest. Same ways, a history also. It is such an interesting topic, but we didn't have sufficient pictures. So if you have sufficient pictures to match what is being written, that becomes a very added benefit. Then multisensory methods means you can use different methods to teach. Visually, it should be visually appealing, and you should tell orally whatever you are give instruction orally. You show the child, you draw it, the child will understand. And written means you please write it down. Students, one more thing, always remember, any child, any learner in your class is not like a clean slate. No, they have some amount of background information which they have gathered from their environment. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So that becomes your base. So when you give with all these things, your learning teaching experience in the classroom will become very interesting. Okay. And one more important thing, do not skip any important information. Okay. Don't skip that, because children will learn. See, students, this is another mistake sometimes we teachers will make. Oh, this content is very difficult. Let us omit it. Let us not teach it. Oh, this is a very difficult word, I myself doesn't know the meaning, then you will omit it. No, you introduce it, the concept. It is up to the children to learn it or not, but don't skip. You give that information. There are many things. Sometimes teachers will say no, 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 but no, you should not miss out on anything. When they make a textbook or a concept, that has some purpose behind that. Okay. So adaptation of instructional process, it may take place in three ways. Omission of unnecessary content. See, sometimes few things will be repetitive or unnecessary. You need not tell that. Modifications, like you can modify it. You can use bullet point to highlight certain things. You can use, you can make it bold or big so that the child's attention is grabbed there. Addition of content means like for hearing impaired additional training. Like for children, you can add few more information, few more pictures. Now see, adaptation of instructional methods, direct teaching, like you can take them for experiments, field trips, incidental learning, art, craft, drawing. You can give them hands-on training and move from simple to complex. That is always there. These are all maxims of teaching, no? The from simple to complex classification of animals, and like that. And adaptations in curricular subjects, like in science you can do. See here, how we have give them. It is a happening subject, means it is an experiment based subject. Should always involve hands-on learning by doing. Supplement practical information with models, pictures, charts, etc. And in social studies, you give them live situations and practical simulated activities. So this is not only for special children. This you can use it for a normal children and to make the teaching learning process interesting. Students, one more thing I also tell my trainees here. You all are very lucky. You all are into a teaching. You are into a time when you have so much of facilities. You have YouTube. You have all these apps, learning apps, and you have technology in your hand. So you should use your creativity to use this to the maximum, isn't it? See, when I was a teacher trainee in Mumbai, we used to write, we used to make charts, we used to draw. See now, and we didn't have color printer, things were very expensive, so with whatever we had we managed. But you all are very blessed, you are into a blessed generation, you have so much of information, so much of material, so much of everything, that you should use it wisely, especially when you're teaching. And you should make the teaching learning process interesting, isn't it? See, like this, you can use different types of things, and you can do historical dramas, role play, field trips to historically, geographically important locations. Okay. Now, behavior management of children with special needs. Motivate and reinforcement. See, again, very important, students. It is not only you are conveying the learning to children. You have to motivate them. You have to reinforce them. Then only they'll be motivated. And do not discourage the child. Any child, whatever, each child will have their own pace of learning. Accept it, and you teach them and provide equal opportunities. If a child is not good with maths, doesn't mean he's a dumb fellow. He might be good with some other subjects also. Okay. Now, adaptation of teaching learning materials. You can show real objects where the child can feel, squeeze. See, what do we do in our preschool? We have a preschool for special children. We get actual things. Like, for example, if it is fruits, we get actual fruits, we get actual flowers, so that the child gets the tactile and the olfactory exposure also. Multisensory models and manipulative aids. Easily available, and you all can purchase visual aids charts. These are also easily available. You can, or I know many of you are very creative, you can draw, you can write. Okay, are available, and you can use different types of story and rhymes. Then there is graphic organizers and all this, like for example, cowboy, a cupboard, a starfish, or armchair, and all these things. Next, see, computers. Again, I'm telling you, all are into a blessed generation. You have computers, you have smart boards, you have technology in your hand with the help of the smartphone. So use it wisely. So computer assisted learning means wherever possible, please use all these things to explain it to the children. I will give you my example. When I was a student, I never understood few concepts because we were we used to imagine. So each child's imagination used to be different. But nowadays, when I see my trainees, special teachers, they do it so beautifully. They have YouTube. They teach the concept and they attach YouTube. It is so beautiful that children enjoy learning in the classroom. So as much as possible, use real object, manipulative models, digital presentations, and visual aids. Very important, adaptation of evaluation. I hope all of you know that when you teach something, you have to assess the child, whether the child has understood, whether the child has not understood. How will you do? You will conduct a test. So, not necessarily every time the test should be a paper pencil test. It could also be a small project type, or it can also be like some assignment wherein you ensure that the child has learned something. Okay. So alternative mode of assessment, activity based, which I told, project. Then playway material, you can have the Sudoku or something. Picture sheets. Then clue in brackets. You can give clue prompts. Then you can have worksheets. And continuous and ongoing evaluation. CC, that is continuous and comprehensive evaluation also. So don't give big tests to these children. When you're teaching something, you assess when you're teaching to see whether the child is learning the concept or not, and give equal weightage, not only to language, to knowledge. See, students, ultimately the concept should be made clear to the child. Yes or no? See, some children might fetch good marks because they are rote learners. They are rote learners. Rote learners means they will not think. They will just mug up. But more important is that you understand the concept and you use it wisely. Okay. So then you have practical component and theoretical component. So you can have the weightage of 40 and 60, and extra time for the exam. So this is one of the provisions for children with special needs. They get language exemptions, means they need not write all learn all the three languages, and they get extra 1 hour in public exams or in the schools. And this is very important, very important, students. Please pay attention, all of you. See, it is not necessary all problem will rise when the child at birth. Some children will develop it over a period of time. So, if a child is consistently showing failure in the classroom, make the child go for evaluation. Okay, evaluation. These types of evaluations are available in rehabilitation institutes or government institutes, or they will tell you where you have to go, so that you get to know, has the child progressed or does the child require some more help. Okay, so again I'm telling, kids with disability are just kids. Please treat them as kids first, not with the other problem. Okay, so with this, I finish my talk. Thank you all. Answers.
Thank you.
Ah, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Sir, I'll just take a picture for my reference. 1 minute. Yeah, my camera is on only. Okay, sir, I hope all of you, did you all understood, students, what is it and what
Yes,
are the
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We all understood, and it was very nice
Yes,
session
ma'am.
today.
yeah, I'll tell you the
Thank you,
reason.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. I should thank you people for listening and Nasser Ali sir for giving me this opportunity. I will tell you why. See, because what happens, when if you all are teaching into primary school or into higher primary, if you have these children who come into your observation, don't ignore them. You put them into the right intervention. They will do very well, and their parents will thank you. See, we teachers have a very big responsibility on our shoulder, no? Because we have to see that each child learns well, or each child progresses. So I know with so much of other work and burden on us, we ignore, tend to ignore. And I will tell you, it is my observation now, over a period of time, with this technology, with mobile phones, children are losing their concentration. There are so many frustrated, like why children are not. So when you have all these things, when you understand the situation, especially children with special needs, very proper way, isn't it? We want all the children to be together. So I hope I'm well within time. Did I take too much of time? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, students, one more, yeah, one more information. Uh, if you, we, in our institute, it is in Mysore, All India Institute of Speech and Hearing. We are a central government sponsored institute. So if you come across these children, some children in your, again, in your family neighborhood, and you don't know where to come, please refer them to our institute. We will do an over evaluation and help these children get rehabilitated into the mainstream setup. And also we have our B.Ed program. Yeah, obviously we are revamping it. So in special education, specialization in hearing impairment, that is after graduation. So if any of you are interested, you can join. Okay, that's all the thing from my side. Thank you. Okay, okay. We have a query here. 1 minute. I'll just see what is Nandini asking. This is okay. MGR Institute. We met during RC evaluation along with Lakshmi Prabha. Okay. Thank you, Nalini. Okay. Okay. We have one question from. Is it good for a special need child to sit with usual school group or they? No, no, no. See, that's the main purpose. No special school. They should be a part of the mainstream setup, and we have to be sensitive, isn't it? That's the main purpose. No, we should not segregate them. They have to be a part, and normal children or the other children has to be oriented about these children, special children, because it's suppose otherwise how will they learn? Ki like there are different types of children also in our society, isn't it? I will give you an example of our own department. Many siblings who go to regular school, how wonderfully they will take care of their special sibling, like they will teach them, they will sit together, they will eat together. See, that is the beauty of coexistence. Now everyone should go together, right? We should not segregate them. Now, over a period of time, with this inclusion, national education policy, early identification and intervention, special schools will not be there. We don't want them to go to special schools. We want them to be a part of the normal school. Please understand that. So, yes, if you are a teacher, if you see some children in your class who is having with correct intervention, help tell your other children to include him, participate, and make your classroom teaching a very good experience. Yeah. Okay, we have one more query. If they go for regular schools, is it possible for the teachers to give the required attention to the special child when there are 30 or 40 other students? See, Ifuna, I agree with your query, and that's the problem we face everywhere. Sensitizing teachers. But you need not have, as I told you, you need not have a script. See, little modification is required. Make the child sit in front, pay attention, give in between, pay attention to the child. See, there's something called as peer tutoring or peer support. Make the child sit next to a good child, in a little intelligent child in the classroom, so that they can help. And you can take the help of the parents. You engage the parents, you give, these are the activities which I'm planning or which I have taught. Let the parents also support. I have seen beautiful examples where when the teacher, the management, the classmates, as well as the parent, they come together, they will help. So you need not sit and worry, oh, how will I help? No, you can help. You have to just think of strategies. So these are few strategies. Make the child sit in front, engage the child, and engage the parents. Very important. Parents should be a part of this teaching learning process. Hope I have addressed your issue, because her question is a very valid question. Many a times regular school teachers don't accept special children. They say, Madam, managing 30, 40, 50 children in a classroom, then with additional work, we find it very difficult to address special children. So that's the reason they make them sit separately. No, they are a part of it. Only little strategic planning is required. Yeah. Very good. Very true, sir. The concept of equity, as you sir told, and as I told you, it's not only, see, we have become such a knowledge oriented society, like marks oriented, sorry, not knowledge oriented, result oriented. Like we want our children to do good, but can everyone fall into the above average category? There's the, see, the bell curve, you all know, no? Only many of them will fall into the average category, very few will fall into the above average category. So we all were, I was also into that average category, but same with these children also. You should not measure them with where they are able to write or not. If they have understood the concept, that is well and good. We have one more question. Now we have inclusive education. So from our brief experience in school, I think we need to acclimatize the classmates to regarding what which are special. They have need to be held class, not a very good. Yeah, as I told, orientation. You brief them about the children. As you said, we have special child in our class, the team teaching or collaborative teaching. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we have seen when you have one or two special educators in the school, and when the class
நிம்மதியா
teacher,
இருக்க இங்க வந்து அண்ணாட எங்களால இடமே பிடிக்கல என்ன
one of you have kept, huh? So when we have this, like for example, when the class teacher, subject teacher, and special educators join hand in hand, it comes out to be very beautiful. And the parent also, huh? Please understand, parent. We have many success stories in our department where the parents and teachers have done a beautiful job, and children are not only in school, few have become come into government jobs, few have become software engineers, few have got into various disciplines, and they are doing very good just because everyone came together to help. And few industries or few setups in our in our Mysore, they have hired the people with special needs to work in their workplace, in their industries, in their companies. So this is the way we become an inclusive society, not only just on paper, right? Okay, we have one more question. Okay, very good. I'm very happy all of you at least understood our problem as special educators. Okay, I'll just address. Parents are often ignorant and in denial of the child's special needs. They tend to expect the child to achieve milestones like the regular students when they attend regular school. How can we deal with parents in challenge? Yeah, that's a very good question. See, very that requires. I agree, it's not easy, but it is not impossible also. One thing is like slowly and steadily counsel the parents. Please accept. See, anything, any problem in life, how do we overcome that? When we accept it. No, we have so many challenges in life, it becomes easy when we accept it. So when you accept it, yes, my child is having a problem, then only the parent will now be able to will able to listen and accept the suggestions given by teachers, special educator. So if you find that the child is having a problem, slowly and make the parent understand. Don't keep on telling negatively, oh, your child is not paying attention, your child is a loser. No, no parent will accept that currently in the current generation. You have to make them understand that the child is having a problem and that has requires some more evaluation. So it is a little difficult task, but yes, over a period of time, they will accept it. Any more queries? Okay, thank you. I should thank you people, and especially again Nasir sir, thank you so much for accepting my request and giving me this opportunity. Looking forward to meet you people. You all can visit Mysore as a part of your educational trip, and please do come to our department also. Sure. Sure, sure, sir. I will definitely collaborate with you. And also, we keep on having workshops, programs, orientations. I will share the information with sir so that at least you all are aware and sensitized about the happening in our society. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.